unadulterated.com. LE Radio Live is committed to giving platforms to fresh voices and seasoned troublemakers who are not afraid to speak the truth. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at LE Radio Live and join our social media platform, COFFYTALK.com.
Sorry about that, Brittany.
No, go ahead.
It's a little delay. In there. So my bad. Let me add our special guest. Hey, Black. It was a little.
Hey.
Go ahead, Brittany.
Hello. So, welcome everybody again to another installment of Coffee Talk. That's coming to you loud, live, and in color from LE Radio Live. So, we have an absolutely amazing show tonight. We have the amazing Miss Goddess, just everything herself. I'm gonna let her introduce herself because I'm sure I could do her absolutely no justice. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and just come on in. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and everything else like that. But I'm gonna let you take it away to introduce yourself.
Well, hey everybody! Thank you, Don and Miss Brittany, for having me this evening. I am Onyx. Some people know me as Blackfire, depending on where you know me from. Author, life coach, motivational speaker, event planner. I do a lot of stuff.
Yes.
But always open to just meeting great people.
Great. Absolutely. So that's awesome. So basically tonight our theme is beautifully broken. So it's one of those things where we kind of want to touch on just all facets of people, touch a little bit on mental health, but just kind of people not checking in with themselves, giving more of themselves to others than themselves, kind of prioritizing, and kind of going into, we have COVID is still a thing. People are still quarantining in places. So we were kind of wanting to touch on a little bit about that because like I was telling Don earlier, there are people who started off quarantine in a happy, or at least they thought a happy relationship. And then now here it is almost a year later and they're no longer in these relationships because they were forced to actually sit down and spend time with the person that they're with. So that's kind of like what we wanted to talk about tonight and kind of address because it's a concern for a lot of people.
Definitely.
So so just to kind of get started to go in before we get into our next topic. Again, this is Coffee Talk Radio. We have an amazing lineup of shows every day. It seems like every day. Tonight we have Coffee Talk. Then Fridays we have our ATL mix, and then we're going to start back with the Poetic Soul Artistry, which will be hosted by myself. And then on Saturday, we have Ami. She's going to be coming to us with some reflexology tips, some health and holistic tips. It's going to be amazing. And then we also have Miss Stoney Godley, who was on our last show, coming and giving information, giving it to you raw and real for the 50 and up ladies. And then on Sunday, we have Miss Sin doing her Shot City Cafe. And then we also coming soon will have another show called Les Boys, which is definitely going to be one of our hottest shows, I'm sure. So take it away, Don, if you wanted to come in and start it off.
Again, tonight we're talking about confirmation of the beautifully broken. Again, self-check-in about how we neglect ourselves so much for others. So that's what we talking about in 2021. I think 2021 should be about taking care of yourself, because like Brittany stated, it was a lot of people when they was forced during the pandemic to stay together, they found out how much they really didn't have in common. And I don't really think that. I think a lot of people, because they neglected themselves and what they actually wanted and needed and accepted a lot of things, the pandemic gave them a lot of time to really think.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see, because it looked like I'm moving like a robot. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Oh, okay. Because over here, I'm looking at myself and my mouth. I look like one of those Chinese movies.
Well, there is a delay between your audio and video, but it's not a real big delay. It's like a little quick thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that's what I want to talk about, because I think a lot of those relationships didn't so much in because they realized they did not have a lot in common with the person. I think a lot of those relationships ended because the person didn't really know themselves. And being in a relationship and being forced to be around somebody, they learned some things about them and some things that they probably figure like, oh, okay, I accepted this. But had they been more in tune with themselves, they probably would have never been in that relationship. Because before we came on, we was out also talking about most people who live together and in a relationship typically only spend, maybe if they doing good, about 6 hours a day, maybe 2 hours in the morning. If you work the same schedule, getting ready for work, you might grab some coffee or something together. You gone from the house about 12 hours a day. My wife and I was talking about that, because most commuters 2 hours to get there. On the
Mhm.
average, you spend 8 hours there. Sometimes you have to stay later, because I know I do. Then you got another 2 hour commute home. So that's 12 hours of your day gone right there. You got what, 24 hours in the day. Then when you get home, you tired. If you got kids, you got to feed them. You got to do homework, all that other extra stuff. So about what, 5 to 9, you may have a little bit of time together. So when do you have time for you and your mate? When do you make time for you and that person? Again, I believe the pandemic gave a lot of people a lot of time to think about themselves and to realize some stuff, and was looking in some mirrors and sitting there, had a lot of time to think.
Right.
A lot of
Definitely.
time. So I don't think most of the breakups had a lot to do with the other person. I think it had a lot to do with people finding out who they really was for themselves.
Right. I
So
agree. Absolutely. So, to kind of touch a little bit on what you did, Black, like, how has your experience during the quarantine, in regards to relationships, both social, platonic, and romantic? How has that affected you?
Well, for me personally, I actually started a divorce prior to the pandemic. So I have been solo the entire time. And I'm one of those people, though, I love it. I
Mm.
personally like the solitude. I don't like being responsible for anybody else's feelings and all that. And then
Right.
I'm pretty selfish with my time because I do a lot of different things. Dating during the pandemic is kind of weird,
Okay.
to say the least. People are very, very weird. And I guess because I was married for like a decade, so I just didn't know how weird people were.
Got it.
So I went on about maybe 2 or 3 dates.
Hmm.
And I want to say I may have talked to the people, each individual, maybe about 7 days before the physical date,
Right.
and probably didn't talk to them not 2 days after. Because people can present whatever they want on the internet and, on the phone and via text message. But when you sit down and you have that energy exchange, it's like, something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So the intimate relationships, it's pretty much just dead. But as far as familial relationships have suffered, because most of us have elderly parents.
Mm.
You can't go see your elderly parents because you got younger kids.
Right.
And we all know younger kids don't stay in house.
Right.
So then the older parents, like my mother put her house on lockdown, like,
Yeah.
like we had to talk to her through the window. And we had to, and she lived a couple of floors up. She was making sure we had that 6 feet. Um, so those have suffered a bit, as far as like siblings and stuff like that. Work relationships and stuff like that. I work with people.
Mhm.
So for me, it's just like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Like I actually just got over COVID. This is like my first week back at work.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, when the pandemic started, I had quit my job because of the level of customer service that I worked in. It was just like, y'all not paying me enough to deal with the possible stuff I may have to deal with. Because being in management, I not only have to deal with my employees, I got to deal with the customers, the
Right.
vendors, and
Mhm.
every delivery drivers, everything. So it was like, I think I'll take a year off and just chill, write some books, see what's going on.
Right.
And as soon as I went back, I literally went back to work December 2nd,
Mm.
and I tested positive for COVID December 20th.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah, it was interesting. So COVID has been like, this whole pandemic has just been weird and yet normal.
Mm.
I think people who love solitude, they just finally just want to get a world a hug. Like, now y'all see what we do all the time. And
Right.
the rest of the world is like, yeah, no, we don't want any parts of this solitude.
Mhm.
So for me, it's been good and bad. I mean, on a good and bad kind of thing, my life coaching business has like grown exponentially
Good.
because, and that's a great thing for me and it's a great thing for humans. But at the same time, it's bad to know that many of your fellow humans are struggling,
Mhm.
so it's like, good side, bad side.
Right. But that's good though, because I think what it is that I think to me, it kind of seems like the good would outweigh the bad in that situation, because now people are finally realizing how important self is.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Because for the last, like I said, almost year, all you've had is self. So it's like you kind of, if you can't deal with yourself, you can't deal
You
with
stuck.
anybody else. So so that's good. That kind of gives me a little bit of hope that life coaching. But so of course you can't tell us, who you've done, but like what are some of the topics or some of the like trends that you're seeing that people are kind of struggling with?
Well, I coach individuals as well as couples.
Mhm.
Within the couples realm, it's communication and intimacy are the biggest things, because like I'm touching on what both of you guys talked about earlier with the relationship and the time in the day, you know when you're not used to spending that much time together, you then come to realize that you may have different viewpoints on intimacy. Because see, one person who's just very busy, busy, busy on the go all the time, to them, intimacy may be a quickie,
Mhm.
just some sexual contact and exchange of energy and let's go. Whereas the other person, conversely, may feel like intimacy is just, holding hands or cuddling on the couch watching a movie.
Right.
So they both have different needs.
Right.
And with the communication, which always is imperative to everything, if
Exactly.
you can effectively communicate to your partner, hey, what you're giving me, it's not that I don't like it,
Hmm.
but I need something else.
Right.
I need something different without that person taking it personally.
Hmm.
So so it's a very delicate dance. So that part of relationships, that seems to be the common topic. As far as a lot of my single clients, the current themes are mostly finances,
Hmm.
anxiety, and a lot of them loneliness.
Right.
Like one of my clients told me that she thinks I need to add touch therapy to my list of services, and I'm like, I don't even like people that much. I mean, I love humans. I love humans,
Right.
but I don't love people enough to just cuddle you for a fee. No,
Right.
because then you might just like my cuddling a little too much. I'm a little fluffy. No,
Right.
So, but I am understanding. I looked it up and realized that that's a real thing.
Yes.
That people are really, really missing and craving that level of intimacy of just a simple touch, that they're willing to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually a study show like Japan is one of the leading countries in that type of because the younger generation are not really too big on like marriage and
Right.
relationships, so they would much rather pay for these little sleeping with someone, like not even like a physical, like the act of sex, but just sleeping
Sleeping.
in the bed with another person. Paying, there's whole hotels dedicated to where you can go and purchase that service of
Mm-hmm.
sleeping and taking a nap and doing these things. So yeah, because and what I thought about when you were explaining that was kind of like love languages,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing what yours is and knowing what your partner's is as well. Because in my experience, like just for myself, I know the language that I have to give love, and then I also know the language that I have that helps me internalize or receive love,
Mm-hmm.
which in my case is actually two different ways, two different types. So I never really thought about that before this pandemic when I had to sit down and actually reevaluate some things about Brittany. Um, that it's like you have to, but again, it goes back to being honest with yourself, being honest with the person that you have, and kind of just going back in for self and paying attention to self. So that makes sense. So with the work that you're doing, do you have a, oh, we can go really quickly into it. We'll take a quick break to talk about some other things. Um, how are you offering your services? Do you have any links? Is there a website that people can go to for the life coaching?
Mm-hmm. I have a website. Well, it's my blog, but they can contact me through there, which is liveenviously.com. No, it's liveenviously.wordpress.com. But
Okay.
then I also have a Facebook group under the same name, as well as a fan page. And you can like once you become a client, then you're automatically placed into the group, and it's just like a whole like a sister circle kind of thing. Nobody talks about like what their problems are, but people pop in for support. I post daily quotes on all of my social media sites, just to motivate. I also do a daily, well, I try to go daily, a
Mhm.
little TikTok tidbit. And everything can be found just by looking up Black Fire, BLAQPHIRE. Everything will come up under there. Um, and then I also do a podcast called Living Enviously with a Purpose,
Nice.
and they can contact and everything through there. But I'll make sure I get all the information to you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So let's do this. We're gonna take like a quick break, and we're gonna freshen up, and then we'll come back. We can kind of go further deep into, like Don was talking about taking care of self first. So self care, and we'll be right back.
Will we?
Oh, oh, I thought you wanted to break. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, will we? Nah, here, I do a quick little break right quick.
Okay.
I guess.
LE Radio Live is committed to giving platforms to fresh voices and seasoned troublemakers who are not afraid.
Well, I tried. That was as quick as it was.
LE
Okay.
That's the break right there. That's the break right there.
LE Radio Live is committed to giving platforms to fresh voices and seasoned.
Tired. Yeah, I'm a little tired too. Because I have to be at work at like 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm usually up at 2:30, and I normally there like 12, 13 hours today. So I'm a little tired. I'm here, but I'm a little tired. But I do want to get more into the conversation of the beautifully broken, the title, um, and talking about being broken as a person and how do we heal. And I wanted to get your some more of your views on this, Black, because you and I used to talk about stuff like this all the time.
Oh
So I
yeah.
want to get more into talking about uh being beautifully broken, because there's a lot of people walking around that you wouldn't even think was broken that are broken. They are very beautiful, inviting and everything, and they have these skeletons. They a whole bunch of bones sitting back there, the broken bones, that they never took time to allow to heal. So I kind of want to get more into that and get your thoughts on People, just being like, sometimes people be in a relationship for years. A person could be in a relationship with somebody for years, and the entire time be emotionally unavailable to that other person, and the other person not know, and then they not know, or realize that they are emotionally unavailable, and can stay in a relationship for years unaware,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not in tune with self. And then a lot of times, we may know as well, but we overlook it because we are more loyal to what other people think about us, or more loyal to being in that relationship than we are to ourselves. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we get really upset with our friends, and we'll say, "Oh, I was so loyal. I can't believe she did this, da da da." But if you was more loyal to yourself, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
Mhm.
So I wanna and our gut feelings, it's like, to intuition and your gut is probably the greatest gift you could ever have, and that is the most neglected. It's
Yeah.
there, but a lot of times we take it, we put it on the shelf, we don't use it, we ignore it, we don't commit to it or anything. We just, so my question is, what do you think may be some signs of a broken person? If you with someone and they present all these things to you, do it ever cross your mind that they may just be broken? Or, because sometimes people smile every day and they miserable inside. They miserable. And a lot of times people just don't know they lonely. You could be in a relationship and be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole bunch. But I think a lot of people is broken for a lot of different reasons in a lot of different ways. And a lot of times, like I said, we ignore it because we more in tune than want to. We live in a I want to be accepted society, so we're afraid to really show who we are, because we are afraid of not being accepted if we show who we are. So we put on this mask, and we stick all these bandages on these broken pieces of us to make it look good. So
Mhm.
I want to get a little bit more in detail, like, what would you say to a person if you thought that person was broken, or if yourself was broken? Um, how would you approach the situation? Me myself, you know, I'm an introvert and a bit of an empath, and I take in a lot of energy. So it's kind of easy for me to tell right off when I meet someone, because their energy is introduced to me before their representative is. So it's a little bit easier for me. Not always a good thing though, because some is very can be very disappointing sometimes. So because me, um, I guess my broken part was not being able to communicate certain things to people, and I know something and I won't say nothing. I just sit there and be like, this woman is fucking Looney Tune. But is it me? But then it made me question myself. A lot of times, if you keep attracting the same thing over and over again, if you go into a relationship, you get into relationships with people or friendships, and you keep attracting the same thing over and over, it's a different person, the same situation, and you the common denominator in it, you might want to look in the mirror. So anyway, that's about all I got to say about that right now. Somebody over here trying to text me, say something. I don't know what. And there's some comments over here. I stayed in a 17-year relationship. I was only happy for 2 months. I even married her. Here you go, right here. So this is one of my friends from Chicago as well. Hey, love me some love. So hmm. If you want to come on and join and share your story, you're more than happy to. Just let me know and I'll send you the link. But what do y'all think about this? This goes back to what I was saying. People stay in relationships for years and not happy. So I'm gonna turn it over to who wanted. Black, you look like you that hand up at that chin. She ready. She did this. She ready. She ready. So we gonna go and get her right, because she doing this. When she started doing this, y'all, she doing. She ready.
Whatever. You don't know me, Don. You don't know me.
You read.
And something like that, I mean, 17 years, that's a lot. And a lot of times it's not so much as we missed the red flags or we ignored the red flags. It's that in those 2 months in which she was happy, she got comfortable. Some level of expectation was set within that happy period during that proverbial honeymoon phase. Something was exchanged mentally, like on a metaphysical level, in which it soothed her spirit enough to put up with another, what, 16 years and 10 months of something that did not serve her. So it wasn't so much as a lack of self-care. It was more so a desire for external acceptance and love. And it's that drive and that desire for validation that will cause us to stay in those things. We'll lay right next to a person every day and be like, "Ooh, I hate the way they breathe." And yet we will still be there and we will show up and be accountable and be present and buy Christmas gifts and have holidays and buy birthday. And then you stop and look at yourself in the mirror like, what the heck am I doing? Why am I doing this? And at some point, the light switch turns, the light bulb comes on, and it's like, no, I love this person. Yes, I probably do. But I love me more than that. And that's when the epiphany happens. And I always tell my clients, I can't tell you to leave a relationship. You don't know you tired until you tired.
Exactly.
Your best friend could tell you, girl, ain't you tired of his mess? No, you tired of it. But you ain't tired until you wake up that morning and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. I'm good. It's time to move around. And a lot of us just have a delay.
I I totally agree with that. A lot of people stay because they comfortable, or they oh wait, you don't agree? Bring okay. Give me a minute, y'all. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna bring on. She said she don't agree. Let me go into the guest room for a moment. I shall return.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna be honest with you. So a lot of that kind of resonated with me because I'm thinking back on relationships that I was in that didn't serve me,
Mm-hmm.
not one bit, and I knew it. But because in one particular situation, I became complacent, and to the point where I felt a sense of obligation to the person.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, yeah, they're not really, what you should be, but I felt indebted to that individual
Mm-hmm.
because they actually happened to come around during the time where I really needed someone. Because I dealt with a loss and I was dealing with grief. They were there to and helped me through the grief. And instead of me leaving it as a friendship as I should have, I felt obligated to pursue a relationship that I ultimately knew I didn't need to be in.
And then it developed into like that obligation. It turns into what they call obligatory love.
Right.
And it's like, I love you because of,
Right.
not I just love you.
Exactly.
And that's dangerous. That
It
because
is.
man, people get stuck in that for decades.
Whew, I was in it for almost a year, not quite. But what kind of snapped me out of it was this person, because of how selfish they were and different things like that. They put me in a position to where my life could have been in danger.
Oh wow.
And when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, no. Like no, I
Right. No,
like
that's it.
you clearly don't care if there's anything, you know what I'm saying? If something happens to me, you're more consumed in the wrong you felt was done to you, like that you didn't even care that, something serious could have happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just immediately left. Like I didn't say anything. I didn't say goodbye. We were actually around her friends, and I'm not a type of person that likes public displays of anything. Affection is okay, but not when I don't like arguing in front of my
Right.
anybody. But I just got my stuff quietly. Everybody's like, "Are you okay?" Just all right, and just walked out. Got in my car, drove the 2.5 hours back to where we lived. Got my stuff and went home. Like, cause
Yeah.
I haven't seen that person since. Because
Sometimes you just you gotta be like, you know what? No, I'm good.
yeah, that was and it's one of those things where I knew I shouldn't have been in that relationship. I knew it. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew shortly after getting to it, I did it. But because I felt this strong sense of obligation, I was like, all right, let me just put what I got going on to the side because they were there for me, so I should be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And, luckily, God, what I'm saying, source, universe has been telling me you need to leave. And I was like, well, no, no, not yet, not yet. And I firmly believe ancestors, they'll tell you a couple times, and then after after that, they're gonna kick you in the butt about it. So
Yep.
that situation of me being put in danger was that kick in the butt, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna ignore it anymore. I'm out. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Peace. Like so I agree that some situations can be that way where you get stuck in a relationship where you feel more obligated. So it's not that true, genuine, I love you for you,
Mm-hmm.
because of you. It's more of I love you because of this, as anything external than that person.
Yep. And people do it for, like a lot of different reasons. People do it for kids,
Hmm.
money, a place to live, it
Right.
comes down. I mean, for some people,
No, they call them, I think they call them hobosexuals.
yeah,
Yeah.
homosexual. I just learned that yesterday. Oh my God.
Yeah. I
but
learned
but but a lot of people do, and that's why I tell people, like, the things I say, I'm not just pulling them out the air.
that.
It's like this stuff is really real, and that's why it resonates with so many different people. I mean, I found myself in a marriage that was obligatory.
Mm,
A person was with me while I was battling cancer, and I felt obligated to raise their children,
mhm,
because I'm a mama, that's in me.
right.
And so you look up and it's like 10 years of your life is gone.
Mm,
And you like, damn, you know what? Dang. Let me just step away while
mm,
we still like each other as humans.
right.
And a lot of
Right.
people can't do that. A lot of people, it got to get funky. And I don't believe that it should have to get that funky. I mean, if you went into it as friends, you should be able to leave it as friends,
Right.
or as respectable adults at least.
Right. Bare minimum.
Right. But some people, they can't do that. They got to curse you out on their way out the door.
Right. And slash your legs and
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
your stuff.
Right. Then they're going to leave out and kick your muffler.
Right. Right. Throw your dog and all this stuff. Steal your CDs and so I don't know.
Right. Take all the shoestrings out your shoes.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Not
Hey, it's just some things you just, I dated somebody very briefly that showed me that, like, the first time we had a disagreement, she wanted I need my jacket back that I gave you. I need this back. Nah,
Mm,
Oh,
nah.
wow.
Mm-mm. You start taking stuff back, it's a wrap.
And see, and me, I don't, but then again, I guess that's why I'm funny about people doing anything for me.
right.
Like
Right.
I low key would take the tags out my clothes just so my wife couldn't like try to see what size I wore to go buy me something.
Hmm.
Because you got one time to say to me to reference something you did for me.
Right.
Then I will take every opportunity from you to ever do that again.
Hmm.
So I would. What size shoe you at? I don't know. My feet size change. I got bad feet. Because every shoe in my closet be a different size. So it'd be like, guess.
Right.
But it's just like I never want somebody to hold something over my head.
Right.
And that's
Right.
something that a lot of people during this quarantine dealt with, because a lot of couples, one was probably still going to work and one was working from home, or somebody lost their job. Then it becomes the displacement of resentment. Oh,
Mm,
you get to sit in the house all day. Oh, you get to be around people all day.
right.
Or I'm the one bringing all the money in, so it needs to go my way. And it's like, well, now wait a minute. Just because we in a pandemic, life don't change.
Right.
Well, at least the relationship not supposed to. And that's when people started taking a good hard look at who they were with. Like, if like a guy is gonna come in and just demand sex all the time because you lost your job, so he paying all the bills plus getting your hair done and your toes and stuff, and so he feel like he should just have it on demand. But now you're feeling like a possession.
Right.
You're not feeling your worth as a equal partner in this, and then that's where it starts, and it starts to fester from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, that's why they said I think they said the divorce rate was up 37%.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, because people had to really realize that arm candy is not necessarily good for your spirit, boo.
No.
I had somebody tell me that she said her girl was going to cook for her. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, you said that like it was a big deal. She was like, it is, because I don't let her cook for me. What you mean? Y'all been together 15 years. What do you mean you don't let her cook for you? Because she don't cook the way I like. Wait a minute. In 15 years, she never bothered to take the time to find out how you like your meals prepared, or no. I said, well, you just wasted 15 years of your damn life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure she don't know how to properly administer CPR to you either. I'm like, what was the point of that relationship? Because she looked good. She got a good job. And I say, well, when you laying in the bed with the Rona, with the vid, if she can't cook for you, how is she going to care for you? It doesn't add up. But that's because they banking on a dream outside of reality that things like pandemics happen.
Mm-hmm.
You got to spend time with your boo.
This is true. Yeah.
Oh, so it looks like she responded. So she's having trouble getting on. But what she had said to the 17 years, she said the only thing that she disagrees with is the seeking validation. She was with someone before her for 10 years. She said, truthfully, the sex ruined everything to her. She felt like she owed her. So I guess that's similar to that obligation.
Right. And see, okay, so let me be clear. The seeking of validation actually works on many levels, and it actually is reaffirmed by the ending statement. You can seek validation in your actions out of obligation.
Mm-hmm.
You could see, and seeking validation is not the same as seeking praise. Like, I wasn't saying that you were looking for someone to praise you and stroke you and say, oh, you're beautiful, you're worthy. Not validation like that, but the validation of being in something. Like, for instance, my mother used to always say that my biggest problem with me and my wife was that my wife wanted to be a wife. Well, no, she wanted to have a wife, but didn't want to be a wife. And a lot of people say, well, how is that possible? Well, you can want the title. You can want to say, oh, yes, I'm married and we live in the suburbs with our 3 children and it's beautiful, and not necessarily want to be bothered with me and the responsibility of being a spouse to someone. Because girlfriend is a lot different from wife.
Yeah.
And a lot of people push for that ring and don't really understand.
Right.
Go ahead, Don. That goes back to what?
That goes back to what I was saying about. I say that goes back to what I was saying about needing that validation from other people or to look a certain way. People neglect who they are because, they feel like society. They want to look a certain way to society. Like you were saying, she didn't necessarily want a wife, but she wanted that look of a wife in the family because it just felt good to say it to please other people. It wasn't something that she really wanted, because what she really wanted was a baby mama to raise her kids. But she didn't want to look like, oh, I just got this woman raising my kids. But sometimes if you honest and you upfront with somebody, a relationship will go a totally different way. Because my wife tell me everything. She tell me stuff I don't even want to know. but it's still a good thing because for me, communication is a big thing. It's important. And I don't like to find out stuff later. So give me options up front. Let me know up front what it is you want, what your expectations is, and all of that, like said up front. So some you may agree with and some you may not agree with. Some I agree with, some I didn't agree with. But anyway, she was like probably the most upfront. She was the most upfront woman that I had met. Because most people, like I said, it goes back to them getting in stuff, not knowing who they are, not knowing what it is they want, or they get into something with you and they rely on you for their happiness, or they looking for a certain look and all of this to fill a void that they have not dealt with. And a lot of times people and been through the situation, like the kids situation, and been through the situation with kids, and they really don't want that married home life, but they need the support for their kids, and they want to look a certain way because they raising kids. So they don't want people out here saying, well, she got all these different women around my kids, or she got all these different guys, or he got all these different women around my kids. So they put themselves in these relationships knowing this is not something that they want. It's selfish. And it's not only selfish to the other person, but it's also selfish to them because they're cheating themselves out of something. You living a lie. You're not being who you are. You're not living in your truth. You're not. And so that's why I say a lot of people is broken in a lot of different ways. A lot of people would argue me up and down, or they'll argue up and down. Ain't no wrong with me. I got my shit together. I know what I want. No, you don't. No, you don't. Just like the person that cheat all the time. No, you don't. You got a woman at home, but you want to go out here and you want to cheat. Why are you cheating? Because you broken. You still out there looking for something. You still missing something. You still trying to fill a void, or this is the person that you really are. You may be that person who enjoy multiple sex partners. So be upfront and be honest and say, this is who I am. I enjoy dating. I don't want to be in a committed relationship. But then you might get with somebody and you know that this is a good person, and in the back of your mind that might be something you later on want in your life. But if you're not there right at that moment, don't bring somebody else into your bullshit. If you know you want to go out there and you want to have a different woman every night, then you do that. Because the most important thing that I've learned, if you don't take away a person option, leave them an option instead of just bringing them in a situation, things usually turns out a lot different, and the communication is a little different. But again, it all goes back to not knowing self. A lot of things that happen in relationships, people blame the other person. The first thing somebody do when they break up with somebody is want to say everything that person did that was wrong. Okay, now what did you do? Let's talk about what you did, because that one person didn't ruin the whole entire relationship. You know, what did you do? Let's talk about what you did in your healing process. But 90% of the time, they want to bash the other person. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. And then you looking at them like, okay, if you allowed all of this, what does that say about you?
Right.
You know, what was your self-love? What was you thinking? You accepted it. So what's going on? Because if you was living in your truth and you knew who you are, and you say you're not broken, and you this person that you say you are, then you wouldn't have been in that situation.
Exactly.
Definitely.
But that goes back to like what you were just saying. It goes back to like self-worthiness. It all comes from how we view self and what we're willing to put up with. And it's an analogy I always use when I talk to people about relationships. I relate it to work. Like when you have an employee that comes to you and says, oh, I'm not going to clean these bathrooms. I only make $10 an hour. Y'all don't pay me enough for this. I stop
But
the
you do
person
that
dead
when
in
you
they,
apply for the job.
there you go. I stop them dead in their tracks and say, did I not tell you how much this job paid in the interview? And you know how much your bills are at home, right? You still took this position. So you knew you was going to need this job and another one to do what you needed to do. And you knew what I was paying you to do. So skedaddle with your complaints. And it's the same thing when people complain about their relationships constantly. Hey, you was cheating with him, right? So what made you think he wasn't going to cheat on you? It's like skedaddle with your complaint. You knew what the situation was when you got into it. The problem is as humans, we over romanticize everything. So we minimize the big stuff and we play up the little mundane things. Like he called me every morning to say good morning. Well, shouldn't he? Is you his better half? Or she made sure that my lunch was in the refrigerator before I left. Well, you bought the groceries, right? And you the one that's going to work. Well, at least she could do is make you a ham sandwich. It's like people want a gold star for doing just the basic.
Right.
And it's like, no, how about you go above and beyond so that you can get as good as you give? Because if you don't give as good as you get, you're always going to be uneven.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Evenly yoked.
There you go.
Yeah, and I
Evenly
agree with
yoked.
you. A lot of people expect gold stars or participation points for doing the bare minimum in these relationships. And it's like, so in my mindset, I always think about it too. Is like, okay, well, if you started doing something at the beginning of this relationship, then all of a sudden it stops, then that's usually a problem too. Because, okay, yes, he was texting you every morning at the beginning. Now all of a sudden he doesn't text you every morning, or it might be every other morning, or he might have just stopped altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of you saying, "Hey, babe, I liked it when you did this. Is everything okay? Or can you stop?" Some people will just be like, "Oh, well, what's he doing? Is he talking to somebody else?" And then they start with this self-doubting thing because now
Mm-hmm.
there's an issue and they're creating a problem in their head that may or may not be there. But without that communication, it kind of trickles down and starts this downhill effect in the relationship. So that goes back to your earlier point about communication and being honest in what you need. Like we were talking about love languages. Some people need that, the words of affirmation. Some people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing it and then you stop, and then it's like, okay, well, I need you to keep doing that because that's how I understand and relate to you in a loving way. So just communicating that helps. But yeah, it definitely goes back to knowing self better. Because usually when I do relationship stuff, the first thing I think about is, okay, what was my thing in this? Like what lesson did I need to learn from this?
Right.
What was it that I was missing that I didn't do? Was this a lesson about patience? Was this a lesson about, what is my takeaway from this? Because like you said, Don, if the same thing's happening with different people, you're the common denominator. It can't be everybody. Everybody can't be crazy. Everybody can't be full of it. Everybody can't be a cheater. Everybody can't be this. There's something in you that's attracting this energy.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do that shadow work, that healing, that self, spend time with self to figure out what that broken piece in you is.
Right. And then do the work to fix it, because a lot of times people don't. And then they go into another relationship expecting that person to fix what the other person did. But it's not even what the other person did. And it's not the person that you're with now responsibility to do it. Is your responsibility to take the steps that you need to take to heal yourself and make sure that you're in the right frame of mind and you ready for another relationship. Like I was having a problem connecting. Um and so I took, I think, about 5 years, almost 6 years of being single and dating and, talking to Black Fire, because she coached me on some
Mm-hmm.
stuff, we had some conversation, and I went through some shit. But I realized that I needed that time for me. And once I got to a certain level with the meditation and the chakras and balancing out and everything, and, taking time for me to calm down after I've been around people, just take a moment to sit back and reflect on my day and me, it changed a lot for me. It changed a whole lot because I found myself before, like y'all said, that obligation thing. Some woman to come along and she'll be like, "Oh, damn," and she'll be saying all the right things, and I'm really not feeling it, but she's saying the right things. She looking good. She's saying the right things, and I'm sitting there like, my mind, like what they say, my body's healed, but my mind is on the other side of town. Okay, that's for another show. I know y'all keep my day job, but no, it would be situations like I found myself in situations like that. Um, because sometimes I get bored, and a lot of times I just wanted company. I wasn't looking for nothing more, and so they'll come around, and at the time I just sit here and watch a movie with me. I'm not really interested in nothing else, and I knew this, but I wasn't honest enough front with myself when they would do this. So I would allow them to come around. I would tell them. I was pretty upfront though. And Black Fire, no, some people were saying some of the stuff I would say to people, they'd be like, girl, I wouldn't talk to you no more. They like, I wouldn't talk to your ass no more. But after a while, and I guess that's what it came in with me, because I started saying to myself, like, why are you always being I was kind of mean and kind of standoffish a little bit. And it's because I really, really was in a time in a space where I didn't want no relationship or nothing. I just wanted company here and there. I did not want no commitments. And so I took the time, like I said, to get myself together. It was some long years. And then I started, once I knew and got comfortable with me and saying, look, this is what I want. I don't want a relationship right now. No, I don't want a relationship right now. And I accepted that, got comfortable with, I don't need to be in a relationship to prove nothing to nobody. Because sometimes people come like, man, you that sexy and you single, what's wrong with you? Why something got to be wrong?
Right.
People think that because, it'll cross my mind about some women. I'll be like, you fine as hell. Why you single? You must be crazy. You must be out busting women. What you doing?
Right.
What you doing to be that fine and single? But as I matured and stuff like that, and I realized sometimes people are alone for a reason. They working on themselves and they don't need all the extra energy. They might just want to have a bit of a conversation, but you gotta get yourself together. And I took that time and I enjoyed that time to myself, and it made a big difference, because then once you take that time and you get to know yourself, then you know what you don't want. You know, a lot of people they really don't know what they want because they haven't taken the time to get to know self. They haven't devoted any time to self. They're not loyal to self. They out here trying to prove a point to their friend. That's like the person who goes out and they shop and they buy all these expensive things because they think these expensive things make them feel good. They want to drive in a Mercedes. They want to pay $200 for Jordans, or they walking around and you looking at them, they got on an outfit that costs maybe $1,000 outfit, and then they top some, can you pay my phone bill?
Right.
No.
Right. Like, absolutely not.
So yeah, once you take that time and work on self and get yourself together, yeah, it would change your life a lot. It really will, because then you are able, what you want, because in order for you to tell somebody else what you want, you got to know what you want. And a lot of times we expect other people to come in and fix stuff and give us stuff that we want when we don't even know what the hell we want.
Right. Mind readers.
We don't know. And at the end of the day, we are responsible for our own happiness, not your partner, not your friends, and not your family. You got to do what you need to do to make yourself happy. And so once you're happy and comfortable in your skin, in your body, then you're able to openly share that with your mate or your friends or whatever is going on in your life. And then it helps release some of the stress in your relationships, because you're not sitting up here depending on this other person to make you happy, when this other person don't know what to make you happy, because you don't know what the hell gonna make you happy, because you don't know yourself.
Right.
You don't know yourself. So a lot of times we walking around here talking about, you don't know me. Shit, you don't know you. I don't know you because you don't know you.
Right.
We all have these representatives like, no, okay, yeah, I don't know you. Maybe you need to go have a meeting or dating yourself. Like, it's a good thing to date yourself. I also did that
Definitely.
for 6 years. I would go to Starbucks, sit down, drink my coffee, go to movies by myself, popcorn, all of that. It just, but we have to get more comfortable with ourselves and knowing ourselves before anything is going to change in our life. And it'll change. You have to know yourself first and stop depending on friends and families and loved ones, especially relationships. We put a lot of pressure on people you in a relationship with to do a lot of shit that they're not responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then get upset when they can't do it.
Right, a lot. We ignore, like I said, the intuition, and we neglect ourselves. We're not loyal to ourselves. All of that. We always putting other people first, and if you ain't taking care of yourself first, how you gonna take care of somebody else if you're not mentally, physically, and healthy yourself? If you're not taking care of yourself first, you not in no situation to take care of nobody else.
That's true. But I think that, we
What
talked
black?
about this before. We talked about this before, Don, about the fact that we as individuals, from the moment we reach like being toddlers, we're trained to take care of other people. I mean, just as humans, boys and girls. The boys got to take care of
Mm-hmm.
their little army men, they GI Joes, and the girl got her little dolls and everything. So we've been intrinsically trained to run away from individualism, to run away from solitude, to run away from being an introvert. I mean, how many times did we hear when we were kids, you better go out there and talk to them people, make you some friends? First day of school, go
True.
make some new friends.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the funny thing in that. You tell us to go make new friends, and yet you tell us don't talk to strangers. If we never talk to strangers, would we have ever made friends?
Right.
It's like when
This
you
is
really think about it, our life is nothing more than a series of detailed, predestined contradictions. And it's like, as we go through this thing called life, Don, you used to always say that, like when I was living in Florida, and people would be like, "Oh, you too fine to be single." Or when you would do events and stuff, and the chicks would just, how them chicks used to be. And you would always say, though, your take on it would always be, Black, I'm not finna date nobody until I'm ready to date me. That was your thing. Like, if I wouldn't settle down with me, with where I am in my healing, in my process and everything else, why would I put this on somebody else?
Right.
Like, why would you I tell people all the time, I did a whole video series on it, the fact that we walk around with unresolved issues, and unresolved issues equate to it's baggage, it's wounds. And just imagine if somebody sliced you up and you ran into an emergency room, because we're in a pandemic, and everybody runs from you, and you say, "Why are you running?" "Because you're bleeding on me."
Mm-hmm.
mm,
"Why should I get your blood on me and I didn't even cut you?" That's what we do in these relationships with these unresolved issues. We're bleeding out on a person who was not wielding the knife. The
Mm-hmm.
person who cut us is in our past. So why didn't we bandage it up, get the stitches, go through triage, hit the ER, whatever the case may be, before we bled on this poor innocent bystander?
Mm-hmm.
But it's what we do. It's because we seek the validation of human contact. We seek the affirmation from human contact. So it's not even that I want to be with this person, I want to sleep with this person. It's just that right now, I'm just not enough for me. And that's where the self-care comes in. You got to be enough for you before you can expect anybody to come in and partake of that, before you expect anybody to come in and add to it, enhance upon it. You got to be
mm,
enough for you first.
Right. Absolutely. I definitely agree because a lot of people don't realize that you are enough. Like you should be enough on your own. An individual coming into your space, into your life shouldn't replace or give anything to you in that regard. They should only be able to enhance what you already have. That goes
Exactly.
back to that, filling from an empty cup and things like that. I shouldn't have to pour into anybody. I should pour into myself. And then everybody else gets the overflow. Because if
Right.
True.
everybody else is getting the overflow, I'm still full.
Yep.
What's important? I have to be full, because if I'm not full, there is no overflow. So that means if there's no overflow, that means you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
You're not replenishing anything, you're taking. And that's what's important for people to kind of think about. Like, you don't want someone to just constantly take. You also don't want to constantly give, because then that goes back to that self accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You're in it, like everything that happens to you, good and bad, is because of you, an action that you either did or didn't take.
Yeah, I
And
agree
a lot of people
totally.
don't have to, so that's a concept, because it's much easier for us to blame others. That's why that concept is lost to a lot of people. And that goes back to that shadow work, and having those ego deaths, where you can understand, like, a lot of people are in bad situations because of decisions that they either did and did not make, just like a lot of people are in good situations because of decisions they did and did not make. It's not as, it's not so much of an outside influence as a lot of people think. Now, of course, there's situations that go against that, but for the most part, especially when it deals with interpersonal relationships, like, that's work you got to do. Like, if you know what I'm saying, if you resenting this person, upset with them because they did something to you, you feel like they hurt you. Did you talk to them about it? Did you say anything? Did you tell them that this was a problem? Or were they supposed to just read your mind and automatically know, oh, I don't like it when when you put, I don't know, when you do something with my eggs. I don't like it when you scramble my eggs. And then I'm mad at you for the whole day because you cooked me breakfast. Mind you, you took the time and cooked breakfast for me, but you scrambled the eggs. And now I'm mad at you because you scrambled my eggs and didn't fry them like I like them. I ain't tell you. So now I'm walking around with this shitty ass attitude all day because you scrambled my eggs. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and it's funny to say that, but there's like, not an argument that I've had, but I've heard people argue about eggs and the toothpaste, squeezing the toothpaste. I'm mad at you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
mad at you for 2 weeks, giving you silent treatment and everything, and giving you no ass, no nothing, because you squeeze the toothpaste in the middle and not at the end like I like it. So what I'm saying? So it's just, people have to, like, really think about it, like how insane a lot of this is, and just have to talk.
Yeah,
It'd be so much better if you talked and just
So much
definitely.
better.
think
But
about
it's
it.
funny about the toothpaste thing, because I have a friend. I didn't date nobody, but I have a friend that's like that.
Mhm.
If you use that toothpaste, she like you to, like, roll the bottom up like this and
Yeah.
smash it down, and roll and smash it down. If you go in there, she don't care. Friend, lover, mama, granddaddy, the dog, the cat. She gonna tell you, come here. You like, what? She'll say, what is this? If I come to your house, I'm gonna put your stuff back like I found it. I'll be like, but me, I typically don't bother people's stuff. You
Right.
know. But Imma ask this question because I know we've been on here a little bit over an hour. We and, still fresh, just only the first show, and I gotta really figure out how, still working on how to share this, thing, because I don't think the link is really getting out like it should, you know, again, people that is watching, I repost this. We need y'all to join us on our social media, coffeetalk.com. It's another, social media where you don't have all the blots that Facebook now have. Facebook used to be cool. You used
Right.
to go on there. You used to see all your friends. Like, sometimes, Black, I don't even see your stuff no more. I know you be live, and sometimes I just be scrolling. And I just start going to different people pages now, because a lot of times, um,
Yeah, they
I don't
filtering
see people,
everything.
they filter everything, so I don't see people pages and stuff like, I used to. Some is my news feed be dry, and then I go to the people pages and see they was just on there 15 minutes ago, but I don't see their stuff no more. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, and I know it's crowded down with a lot of ads and stuff, and they want
Mhm.
you to pay for a lot of stuff now. It used to be free, so a lot of times anyway when you advertise and stuff, and you on here and you advertise and stuff, it don't really get nowhere. I might try an event on there again, but just trying to do something different and bring it back, because like I said before, you could get on there and have a whole conversation. I used to post stuff, or Black would post stuff, other my friends would post stuff. We'll be having a whole conversation, have like 100 some comments and all that. And I don't,
Yeah.
and it seemed like with the pandemic, it would have increased because you have more people at home and more people allowed to idle time. But it seemed like during the pandemic, it kind of like died down a lot. So I don't know if it's a lot of people out here just breaking up out of relationships and just don't have time for it. Or it's just like, okay, I'm in a relationship now and we are home together. Let me
Pay
put this
attention to my
down
boo.
Right.
and pay attention to my baby. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, you used to be able to see it, the blue book used to be jumping. You used to be able to see a lot of stuff, but a lot of people now, I can't see their stuff anymore unless I like go to their page. So I don't know.
It's become a business. That's why Facebook has become once he put it on a stock exchange and made it publicly traded, it became a business. So that's why there's the influx of the advertisements. That's why they keep changing the algorithms. That's why people are ending up in Facebook jail for stuff that they posted 5 years ago.
Right.
Like I just
had
realized if you scroll through your old pictures and you come across something that violates community standards, it will get flagged just because, not because you reshared it. You may have just been in your photo album, but because it's there and somehow you touched it, it instantly flags now. Whereas these community standards weren't in place 5-6 years ago.
Right.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But it's because they want more people to pay for advertising. That's why.
Yeah, because I'm like, what's going on? Like it's dead, and you have to like go to people pages, and then even if people, because you can't see people events, and I'm like, I know people got to be still doing stuff, and then I find out later somebody has some, because I might go to their page, and then I'd be like, why you ain't saying that? Oh, I posted it, but you can't
see
see
it.
Stuff on there anymore. It's like I don't know what's going on, but you can't see like too much anything except for people going crazy over this TikTok. I keep saying I'm gonna go get me an account, but I don't know. I was gonna get one and do that bust it, but what is it?
Oh
The bust
Lord.
it down.
You know what's funny? When the kids first started talking about TikTok, I want to say in 2019, it blew up during the quarantine, but people first started, like we started hearing these youngsters talk about it in 2019. Do you know I downloaded the app and went on there and realized I have had a TikTok page since 2015?
Oh, that's because
I got one too, and I never used it.
It used to be for videos. You could lip sync to songs.
The Triller, or I forgot what it was, but TikTok actually was
Triller
app, and they changed it to TikTok.
I didn't know that.
A lot of people had it already and didn't know, and then they did a whole rebranding, and now it's TikTok.
Because I went on there and I'm like, how do I have a video on here? And it was me rapping the Ghetto Boys. Oh my God.
Oh, I love the Ghetto Boys. Love the Ghetto Boys.
I had Triller.
Like, oh my God. Yes.
Yep, I had a Triller account.
But yeah, so yeah, TikTok is definitely somebody said I just learned body. Yes, TikTok. I just go on to watch. I actually recorded a bust it down, but I didn't post that because too much was busting. So I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Believe that for the kids. So, but yeah.
TikTok it's a time suck though. Like I get on there, and because you pick stuff you like, my stream is very specific, and I go on there looking like I do a lot of art. So I'm on there looking at different art stuff, and then the makeup people, and then I look up, and it's been like 4 hours.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there, my legs sleeping, my finger numb from swiping up. I'm like, what the hell just happened to my day?
Right.
Damn,
yeah,
TikTok.
I'm gonna get on there. I'm gonna get on there and try it out, probably, because I you know, like I said, I was looking at the busted videos. I was cracking up. I like the videos though. I was on, and I hit it on Facebook, and I was just like she said. Next thing I know, it was like 2 hours that passed. I was supposed to be asleep. Oh, what happened? She went out to be back. But I was sitting on there doing like that, and next thing I know, it was out, and I'm like, oh, I can't see you Facebook users that said great show. You are great. Thank you. But we definitely got to, again, like I said, figure out this share thing or a way to get it back out, because I think they blocking it because people, even Jessica, when she was on there, I had to send her the thing. She said she couldn't see it.
Yeah, because when I went to LE Radio Live, it's not posting. So that's why I was like, well, I wonder why I can't find it, because that's how I was going to share it too.
Yeah, because that's why I posted it, that it wasn't there. And then at first it wasn't on my page. I had to refresh a couple of times. And then after I refreshed, it popped up, but then it was private. So it was private for like 15 minutes. Nobody could see it. And my page is not private. When I post stuff, it automatically posts public unless I decide to do the friends only. I don't do private posts, but it was saying private. And I'm like, why is this showing up private? And I took it off. It was about maybe 20 minutes into the show. I didn't realize that it was on private.
Right.
On the Facebook page, it was showing private, so nobody couldn't see it.
Got it. Makes sense.
So I'm like y'all doing too much.
Right. Well, that's Love who posted it down there.
Okay.
Love said that. But yeah, that's yeah. TikTok.
I had to figure out something with the sharing thing. I'm gonna get on. I'm finna go back on there because I got a tick. It said I had a TikTok account since 2000 something too, and I didn't even know.
Yes, that's because you had the old app, and so going over. That's why. I want to say the old app was Triller or something like that. But I want to say it was Triller.
If it was Triller, then that's how I'm on there, because I had a Triller account.
Yeah,
I used to be on Triller making them little sexy videos.
Right, which I was gonna say, so speaking of sexy videos and what we're doing, coffeetalk.com. Everybody should be on and definitely join in the social media sites. So you can go on, click on Coffee Talk Social. You can sign up for a free account. Go on there. It's kind of like a social media network. Again, it's I think better than Facebook, and I'm gonna say that on live that is better than Facebook because a lot of the restrictions Facebook has we don't have to deal with. You get on there, share your thoughts, opinions, videos, blogs, interact with everybody. Pretty much the whole hip team is on there, so you can interact with myself, with Aunt Jessica, everybody that's on the team, everybody that you'll see their shows throughout the week. You'll be able to interact with us and post different information as well as be able to log into the shows. So definitely coffeetalk.com is definitely where you want to go as far as like getting all the information for everything that we have coming up, shows, live, everything like that. So definitely be sure to go out to Coffee Talk. It's down there at the bottom. You'll see it scrolling across.
Right.
.com.
I'm trying to get my hand right.
Yeah.
Down there at the bottom. Y'all see it. Down there at the bottom. We'll be back tomorrow night with the premiere of the ATL Mix.
Yes.
The ATL Mix. That's going to be a great show. I'm going to still work on this sharing thing so that we could get it out, or work a little bit more on this marketing thing as well, since they want to block us over there. But make sure you tune in tomorrow, Brittany. You going to kick off poetry tomorrow? You waiting?
So it'll be next week, the poetry.
The following week. Okay.
Next week, and we'll have an amazing, phenomenal guest host. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to hop on and do some open mic or share some pieces in the comments, we'll definitely be doing that as well. So stay tuned for that next week. But we do have Shot City Cafe this Sunday. As well as, like I said before, with Ami, the kidney bean. She's going to come in and give us some good Zen and some nice information for holistic self-care. So that is going to be Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Central Standard Time for an hour. So, yeah, we got a lot of things coming up. So, again, coffeetalk.com.
Hold on 1 second. I want to see if I could share right quick the Coffee Talk. Give me 1 second here. See if I could go on here and share it so that you all can know exactly what we're talking about. So give me a minute here to go in here, and I'm going to hit this to share. Sometimes, it's better to try to share it before we come on. But
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead on and be a little brave soul. There's not that many people in here anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead on and see about be a little brave here and try to. Oh, it's not okay. Hold on a second. Should have gave me two. That wait.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Where is it at? It's supposed to be some on here that says share. They did it the last time, but I don't see it this time. So hold on one second here. Oh, there we go. Wait, it clicked off. Okay, I'm gonna try this again, people.
Okay.
Click. Uh, um, Not that. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. That's not it.
It won't let you share.
It will just it let me share. There you go. It keep bouncing back.
Mm.
Like I don't know why it keep when I come off of it, it bounced back to us. So let me try one more thing here and because what it's supposed to do when I hit it, it's supposed to give me the option
Mm-hmm.
uh of which one to share, but it keep popping back to there we go. I think this is it. Hold on a second. Nope, it did it again. Oh well, my beautiful people. I
Well, yeah, I
guess it
can.
ain't gonna work,
Let
huh?
me see if it'll allow me to do it.
Yeah, see if it's not letting me do it. I'm over here doing something wrong. But it said, "Oh, okay, now baby, yours gonna come up. Mine's won't come up, but yours gonna come up, but mine's ain't come. So let me go on and add that in there.
Okay.
Okay, there we go, people.
So here we go at coffeetv.com. So we'll go in. We have the Coffee Talk Social, Coffee Talk Radio, which is what you're on now, and Coffee TV. So this is the site that we have here. It's a social media network and podcast. A little information about who we are, the HIP team, and how you can subscribe. So we have a lot of things going on. But to normally get to the social media site that I was talking about, you'll go up here to Coffee Talk Social. And once this loads, then you'll be able to see the login. So you'll be able to come in, log in, create a profile, and register. It's a really simple process. You can just fill out your information, register, and it'll create an account for you. So then it's very simple, as you can see. Put in your information. Now, I was having an issue with my password earlier, so unfortunately, I can't log in so you can see mine. But this is pretty much the front part of the social media site that you'll be able to access once you actually log in. And
And then
then
that's our Coffee Talk TV.
yep. So that's how we have the Coffee Talk Radio. So you'll have come in here. You have LE Radio Live, and you'll come in. You'll see the show that we have posted. Log in, and you'll be able to see all of our shows here. So if you do that, and then going back, you also have Coffee TV, and that'll bring you to the YouTube page, where again you can stream. You can see how we're live here. You can stream everything that we have so far. So you got Punani TV. So you can see the stagings, all the shows that we have on social media, different playlists, everything that we have going on. And I'm going to scroll up because some of that is for adults only. So just going to everything starts with this site right here, which is coffeetv.com. That's where you can go for everything.
Everything and that website there, my wife built it. So if you're looking for a website, she built that website.
Yes.
Yeah, she good. She spent a lot of time in there. Most of the websites and stuff, the graphics and everything she been doing, been saving me a lot of time. But that's what she been doing, setting up the websites, the URLs, all of that. So we got a great team, and I appreciate everything she do because I'm always out there. She worked from home. She's an entrepreneur. Jessica Holter, founder of the Punani Poet. So, yeah. So during this pandemic, because we are unable to travel right now, she's been focusing more on her technical skills, and a lot of the stuff she taught herself. So, proud to say that she taught herself, and it looks damn good. But she do have a show coming up. Brittany, do you have that information?
Yeah, so I'm pulling up the show right now. So so the Planning Poets does have a show coming up for Valentine's Day.
You don't have no we can share.
Here, I'm trying to pull it up now. Because it should be on the website. Bear with me one second.
Give us about maybe 5 more minutes. We'll be out of here in a minute.
Yeah, so special feature. Bear with me one second. So here, I'm gonna share my screen, and that way we're working on getting the commercial posted. So we don't really have a lot of information for the upcoming show just yet. We're still going to be submitting that information. So you'll see it also on Coffee Talk TV as well as us. So basically, we do have a February 13th and 14th show that's going to be coming up. There is going to be a small intimate show that's here in Atlanta, social distance. I think it's roughly probably about like 10 couples. It's going to be really small. However, we're going to offer it to stream. So you'll be able to purchase tickets online to stream the event. It's going to be super sexy. She was telling me about how she was putting the show together. We're going to have the dancers, the strippers looking good. So it's actually going to showcase on February 14th, and how you'll be able to actually go on and get the tickets. It'll be on punanitv.com. So you can go to punanitv.com, and that's where you'll go to be able to stream the actual live show that we're going to have on February 14th.
Cool. And that's about all we have for tonight. And again, if you looking for something that don't have all the restrictions that the Blue Book now have, make sure you go and join us over at coffeetalk.com. And we're going to go ahead on and say goodnight. And we appreciate all those that was tuned in with us tonight. And we will see you on next Thursday. But again, tune in tomorrow night and all weekend for more upcoming shows. You can also go back on the web site, coffeetalkradio.com, and look at the videos. If you feel like you missed anything, you want to be a guest, email leradio2010@gmail.com, and we'll make it happen. So other than that, everybody have a good night, a beautiful night, and we shall talk to you guys later.
Bye.
LE Radio Live is committed to giving platforms to fresh voices and seasoned troublemakers who are not afraid to speak the truth. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at LE Radio Live, and join our social media platform, COFFYTALK.com. LE Radio Live is committed to giving platforms to fresh voices and seasoned troublemakers who are not afraid to speak the truth. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at LE Radio Live, and join our social media platform, COFFYTALK.com.